Yeah. Good morning, fam. It is Monday, January 9th, 2023, and this is Programming in the Morning. I, I don't know what that title means, but I figured, I got to give this a little title if I'm going to do it for a second day in a row. 2 days in a row, that's when you actually deserve a title for the program. And then I'll probably abandon it in another, couple of days, but that's fine. That's fine. That's just how these things work. All right. I thought for today, I want to continue the work that we did yesterday, I think it was, where we were working on the Xenforo add-on. Now, I understand that the working on a Xenforo add-on is a very esoteric and a very quote-unquote specialized type of programming. But I want to finish it up, and once we finish it up, then we'll probably move on to something else. I'm thinking there is an Electron project that I would like to work on next, so maybe we will transition to that once this is done. And this isn't even a full add-on that I'm writing. This is just an enhancement to an existing add-on that I want to write. And then there is another actual full project which I've started that I would like to finish, but for now, let's just do one thing at a time. And honestly, part of the reason that I am streaming this is because it helps with my ADHD. Actually, I should say it helps with my self-diagnosed ADHD. I have no idea if I actually have ADHD, but sometimes it feels like it. When I'm working, I'm concentrating on this, I'm concentrating on this. So it feels just like I have a really hard time concentrating. So I did make a couple of, I didn't update anything. All right. What do I want to do? So like I said, we're going to continue work on the plugin that we were working on yesterday, where we had the little widget on the right-hand side of the board. We had that showing. We didn't have any data in it. We just kind of had it working. So I actually did I actually did a little tiny bit of work yesterday on off stream, where I just turned the link into an actual link, or the title at the top of the widget into an actual link. But apparently I did not check that into my source code. So let's go ahead and start with that. I know what I need to do. I just need to find out how. I just need to remember how I did it. All right, let's load up the web page here. Let's take this off for distraction. Whoops, wrong one. There we go. All right, so Xenforo should be loading up. Here we go. Here we have where it says latest feeds. What I need to do is I need to open up the admin page, go to the template, and edit the template. What I did was, I think I found latest posts and learned how they did it, or how you put a link into into a widget. So let's do this. And honestly, I really want to start working on my Mac, because this Windows computer, again, it's a beast, but it is a slow beast. All right. Here, let me just get OBS. You close the dockable window. OBS is just acting a little weird here. Let's just bring this back up. Just want to reload the chat window. There we go, just in case anybody shows up, which hopefully you do. All are welcome. What were we doing? So let's load up code, and what we're going to do, we're going, it was staff online what I looked for last night, which took me right to how to put a link into the widget. So slow. So slow. Close that. Listening to my man Louis T about the Commanders, the Washington Commanders. I don't know if you follow American football, but I have been a Redskins / Washington football team / Washington Commanders fan all my life. Honestly, some of my earliest memories are of growing up. But some of my earliest memories growing up are of watching Redskins games. Just, growing up with family that watched football games. I remember, like, back, I think they won the Super Bowl in 81 or 82, and then again. And then they went to the Super Bowl 2 years in a row, and they won the first one and then got slaughtered in the second one. So I remember that pretty well. All right, we can't find it. Latest post. Let's try that. But yeah, so yesterday was the last game of the season for the Washington Commanders. Unfortunately, they did not make it to the playoffs this year. Somehow they were able to absolutely destroy the Cowboys. And, you know, this is the thing that the Redskins do, or, you know, the Commanders. I hate calling them the Commanders. This is the thing that the Washington football team does a lot, is they go into a game and, you know, the commentators and the experts, they're saying, oh, no, Washington should win this game. There should be no problem winning this game. And then they lose. And then games where they're absolutely like, Washington doesn't have a chance of winning this game. There's no way they can win this game. They win. And that's what happened yesterday. They won a game that everybody thought that for sure they were going to lose. So but it was a good game, if not a frustrating game, because the offensive coordinator for Washington, and this is the offensive coordinator, in case you don't know, the offensive coordinator is the person who actually makes the play calls. He's the person that tells them, okay, you're going to pass, or you're going to run, or you're going to, you know, do a quarterback sneak, or you're going to do, you know, whatever various play calls they are. It's the offensive coordinator. The offensive coordinator for Washington is this man named Scott Turner, and he is awful. The fan base has turned on him. The fan base turned on him long ago, and then there was an article in the Washington Post about a week or two ago about how the players have started to lose patience with him as well. So it's, you know, I think I don't want to see anybody lose their job, but he needs to lose his job. All right, I am looking for staff online statistics. No. There's something called like staff members. There's one that says, is it members online? Let's try that. And we'll put that into the forum view sidebar over here. Please enter a widget key. And I'm just going to enter something like this. Okay. Now this should pop up over here. And it didn't. I don't understand why. Forum view, forum, should it have been forum list sidebar? Members online. Forum list sidebar. Is that where it needs to be? Okay, let's try that. Okay, there it is. Okay, so staff online, that's the text I looked for last night. That took me right to where I needed to go. And I found it in the phrases, but then once you find it in the phrases, and then you need to find basically the variable name, and then you got to search that. And then that took me to the templates, which, let's see. One of these is going to be surrounded by an anchor. Here it is. So here is the construction, and then what you need to do is you need to take that. We got to put this into our template, which is actually going, we got to do through the browser. And then when you put it into the browser, it will save it to disk. So in here, we want to change this to feed. We don't have any phrases right now, and I will go back and create phrases later, but for now we will just have hard-coded text that will say, what did I call it yesterday? Latest feeds. It doesn't really make sense, but it is what it is. Null, and then this should be an empty array. And if I save this, I'll get an error, I think. Oh no, okay, it went, and then, so this latest feed, see right now how it's not a link? If I refresh, then we should have a link. It should be a link. And it is a link, and then it should take me to the feed page, which it did, so that's good. So that is what we wanted. That's excellent. Okay. Now what we want to do is we want to see about getting the latest feeds. And I should be able to find code that does this easily because I'm getting the latest feeds here on the actual feed page. Now, one thing I do want to do, let me see, min browser. No, not mind browser, min browser. Or do I have it installed already? I feel like I might have it installed. Okay, I do have min installed. Okay. It's going to take a minute to load up because everything takes a minute to load up on this computer. Oh, but you know what's not going to take a minute to load up? I bet Edge. Edge loads right away. Everything else crawls. I wonder if that's just a coincidence. Okay. No, I want to go to localhost. So what I want to do is I just want to create a couple of other posts for the feed. Look at this. I go to localhost in Edge. It takes me where I want to go. I go to localhost in Min, and it does a Google search. People, if you are a browser developer, please, localhost should not default to a Google search. I'm sorry, it shouldn't. All right, let's log in. User 1, and I believe the password is simply password. And then I think I can, okay, user 1, I'm signed in over here. Let's log out and log in, user 2. And I believe the password is also password. All right, so if I go to the feed over here, welcome to the feed. And then I could do over here as well. I hope the audio is okay. Am I maxing? Is it too loud? Maybe it is. I'll turn it down just a little bit. Okay. The feed is the Twitter killer. All right. So now if I go back over here and I refresh, I should have my new messages. All right. I just did that for a little variety in the data set that we are playing around with. Okay, so this page here is what we need to figure out how this is loading. Now, I mean, I say we need to figure out, even though I originally wrote it, but I wrote this probably a year ago, so I don't remember exactly how it's done. I think you do it through an entity call or something like that. No, I do not drink coffee in the morning. Instead, I drink 2 20-ounce Diet Mountain Dews. And for people saying, that's a lot of soda, that's my only soda for the day. After that, it is either water or some various type of juice, but generally it's just water. Okay. What was I doing? Okay, so here is the feed for the, can I pin this? Yeah. This is the feed preview page, which is what we're working on. And then we want to look at repository, pub, entity. Entity is basically the definition of the objects. That's the entity. Public save. Okay, this is it. Save reaction, add discussion, add action delete, action submit, thread preview. So okay, so Luz app. Okay, this is it. I'm pretty sure. Lulz apps feed view. This is the template that is loading up the feed. Visitor. Okay, this is just making sure that the visitor is registered. Then I look at the different entries in the feed. I pull it out. I set a sessions per page. Find entries for feed view. That must be a. Where do I define that? Actually, let me shut my door really quick. Ugh. My wife is working out in the gym, which is not that far from where I'm at, and she watches she watches TV while she's working out, while she's on the treadmill, and I could hear it. I could hear it, and since it's Asian, it's Asian TV shows. It sounds like people whining. All right. Where is? I want to find this. Find entries for feed view. Find entries for feed view. Okay, here it is. Okay. So this is where page one, page. So I can add another function here. Public function find entries for feed widget. And I don't need to pass it any page or anything like that. And let's see what Google Copilot generates. So it's doing this visitor thing, which I'm not sure why it's there. Actually, I have no idea what this visitor thing does. Before I move on, let me remove it to see if it does anything. Okay, I've removed it. If I refresh, it seems to work without this. I don't know what this is for. I feel like this might be something I put into the code when I started writing it, thinking I needed it. It turns out I didn't need it, but I never deleted it. So I'm going to comment that. I wasn't sure why this was in the code, but when I commented it out, it worked. Okay, so that's fine. I don't need it here. So user entry deleted. This is limit by page. I don't want to do limit by page. I want to limit how many there are altogether. So how do I do that? Is there a limit? Oh, it's right here. Well, okay. This is what the autocomplete told me. Limit 5. Okay. So what I can do is here I got find entries for feed view, find entries for feed widget. But just to make sure this query works, I can go back to the feed preview and I can't. Oh my God! Visual Studio Code. It closed the file I was just at. It literally just closed the file I was at. I hate that. I hate that. How do I disable the preview? I'm sorry. I'm going off on a tangent right now. I've got to disable. I think it's called preview. I've got to disable that. Disable the ability to preview changes before renaming. Controls whether open editor shows a preview editors. Preview editors do not stay open. I'm getting rid of that. I hate that feature because files they disappear. Because as soon as you open one and then you browse to another one, it disappears. No, I hate it. Okay, so this is action index, which means this is the function that's called when you load up the page. Here I am calling find entries for preview, but I am going to replace this with this instead. I'm going to use find entries for feed widget. And what I am hoping, oops. Come on. What I am hoping is that when I go to, I'm hoping that when I reload this, I see just the top 5. I think that's what I said. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so I definitely have more than 5 here. So let's reload it and see if it works. And it worked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, great. So we are able to get the data for the widget. Okay, so we can set this back to what it was before. And actually, I'm going to make it not 5. I'm going to make it 4. 3. We'll go with 3. We'll go with 3. Okay, find entries for feed widget. Now what we can do, now we want to get it in the feed itself. See, this is where I think the visitor variable came in. It was just to make sure the person was logged in. I don't think it's needed. As a matter of fact, I'm going to go on a limb and say that it's definitely not, and I'm going to remove the reference to it altogether. Let me just check my messages over here. I don't know. All right. Okay. So we got the feed entries, and now what can we do? What can we do? This is the render. This is where everything's getting rendered. This is where the widget gets rendered. So hopefully in here I can, I don't know if I need the visitor stuff or not. I'm going to assume not. So I create the entries, I get the feed entries for view. I set the view params, which is what I'm setting here, and then I return the template. Okay. Great. Okay, we are making progress. I know this looks like a mess right now. I will go back and delete and clean everything up in a few. This has some variables. The view params has some variables that I don't need. Feed entries, finder, fetch, okay. Submit URL. Basically, I don't need any of that except this. I just need the feed entries. And then feed entries, and then it gets passed to this template here, the Lulz app feed view. Now, whoops, I didn't want to do that. I did want to do this. Okay. What I will do now is I need to see how feed entries. I need to see how this variable feed entries is used inside of this Lulz app feed view. So first thing to do is to load up the Lulz app feed view. Let's do that. It's a template, so it should be in the template. Is it not a template? Oh, okay. Lulz app feed. Oh, it's in page. Okay, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I just need to see how it's used. So I need to look at feed entries. So I should search for feed entries inside of here, and there are no results. All right, let's do it another way. Let's just search the whole code base for feed entries. Okay, these first two, I just want to make sure I don't need to ignore these first two. Okay, the second one. Okay. This is Lulz app feed view.html and Lulz app feed view. Okay, so why didn't I find it when I searched the file itself? Oh. It's two different ones. Lulz app feed thread view, Lulz app feed view. What is thread view then? I don't know what that is. Again, it has been a while since I wrote these add-ons, so I don't know. Uh-oh, what happened? Everything disappeared. I did not mean to minimize everything. Hold on one second. Okay, back. Sorry, getting distracted by a conversation over on this other monitor. Okay, feed entries. What are we doing? This is, let's see, feed last BB code messages, and then this is, okay, so this is the feed container template page. Yeah. Okay, so here is, so this is doing a for each loop essentially, and then it calls this macro in here, which we'll get to in a second. So I should be able to, where's the template? Okay, feed preview. Oops, where'd it go? Where I was just somewhere. Am I in the, where? Okay, there we are. Okay, okay, I clicked on this preview on the right hand side. Okay, so feed entries is not empty. Page nav. Okay, that's another thing I need to figure out is how will the container be, because I've noticed that some containers simply don't show if there's no no data. So maybe that's just a matter of just putting the whole thing in an if block. Like if I do this, and then if feed entries is not empty, and then so the whole thing at that point is essentially just in a if block, right? And then if the if block is empty, if feed entries is empty, it's going to print nothing. So maybe then I don't know. We'll have to figure that out later. That could be something to explore in another video. But for now, I am just interested in this loop here. Okay, you can see that this loop is. I want things to go back. Can you? It'll shift, but it won't unshift. Oh my god. Sorry, I've got to align everything. It has to be aligned or it's going to drive me nuts. Okay. And then the for each here. Macro entry block. But I don't need to do that yet. Instead, I should be able to just we could instead, for now, just make bold the feed entry user and then put it on a new line. So this should just print out the names of the authors of each feed in the widget. Oh, call to undefined method, let's say filter. Feed preview 30. Okay, I don't need this. I don't need this. That should be okay. All right, let's try again. All right. Template, blah, blah, blah. Undefined variable page and per page. Okay, so it's complaining because I didn't delete things like what? Where is page and per page? Let's look at this again. What did the error say? Undefined variable, okay. Template public forum list. It's page 30. Oh. Okay. Find entries for feed widget. That's what I said it should be, correct? Yes, for feed widget. So this needs to be replaced here. Okay, let's try that. Oh God, all right. Okay, but you can see the users are being, maybe they're not. User 2, user 1, max power. XF user 1, XF user 2. Okay, so it's printing in this, okay, user 2, user 1. Okay, so it's printing like the user ID and the object name. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. But what is this? LZ feed preview template. LZ feed preview template, okay. User warning, macro public feed template, entry block is unknown. Entry block is unknown. Okay, is that, because I added this if, let's just add the if, let's just remove it and see what happens there. No, okay, entry block is unknown. Okay, I don't know what that error means, but what we can do is we can look at how, oh. Wait a minute, why is this showing the, okay, there it goes. Woo, had me scared for a second. All right, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna look at another template and see if there's any glaring difference in how that template's entry block compares to mine. Okay, that's the one I'm looking at. So we could look at feed view, for example. This has the page, okay, but what about thread view? Is that the one I just clicked on? Reply overlay. Entry block is unknown. Templater 657. Macro public. Oh, okay. Am I calling the macro? Oh, I bet it is the comments. Right, because I'm commenting like HTML. That's what it is. I was commenting like it was a, but I want to save this, or do I really need to? I don't think I need to. Yes, that's not how you do comments in this little scripting, this little markup thing here. That's not how you typically. That's not how you do comments at all. So that's what it was complaining about. So let's see. It's going to save, and it is taking an unusual amount of time to save. It finally did it. So now these warnings should go away, and I should still see this over here. Why it's taking so long, I don't know. And that's what I wanted to see. And I believe the reason that it is not inside of the widget box is because that's what I did. So we put this and move this up into the div over here. And then, so that, actually now that I think about it, that if that I had probably was not the issue, or it wasn't the issue. Anyway, these should be inside of the widget box now. Oh, they're not. Let me look at the other div. So, okay, so it's got to be inside of the container. All right, now it's going to work. I got it. It's going to do it. This is it. Okay, good. It's inside the container like I had hoped. We're displaying the users, and then we're displaying the messages. So I need to create, let me create a macro for the entry block. And this looks kind of like what I want to do here. There's going to be a lot of things I don't need in it, but it is kind of what I want. So that's the macro, and then this is going to be how you call the macro. So let me explain what I'm doing. So macros. So this markup here is I'm 99% sure this is a Xenforo specific type of markup, but you see markups like this, especially in PHP apps, and it's very common to have, be able to do things like do loops and comparisons inside of this markup language. vBulletin had one that was very, very similar. And so I am defining a loop. Feed entries I'm populating here with my query to get the latest of the widgets, the widget entries, and then I'm looping through each of those widget entries. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to change it so that it will call a macro for each widget entry. And essentially, it's just like a function, like in any standard programming language. So now I can pass it the feed entry. Okay, so arg entry. I don't know what this exclamation point means. I don't know what a lot of this means. And actually, I want to look at this in a real text editor. All right, give me a sec. And then we can actually just, okay, it's already got the HTML markup. Right. So there's a lot of, okay, if is preview. Can I pass this? Okay. So can I say is preview true? Because it looks like down here, this if statement is going to say, I didn't know I added this, but if it's a preview, then all that is showing, it's not showing, actually I can show you, let's see. I can show you by replying. a second. So you can see here how it has just the username and the message itself. So I have to decide how it's going to look. So message. Okay, so we have. So really, what we can do, we can start slow. How do you do comments? I think you do comments. Let me go back to the main code here. I think comments are something like XF comment. Right. Okay. So that is how you do comments in this markup language. So what I'll do then, actually, let me do it in the editor. It's just easier to see in the editor. I will start off with just the username and avatar for each of the feeds. And let me just copy to find the macro. For some reason, the XF comment is red, and that's red too. All right. I think instead of doing all of that, what I'll just do is, I bet I know why. I'm just gonna violate this and change it up here, and then this will be the macro. We'll save that off. And now this, I believe this is just going to print the user's name and the avatar. I hope, I think. So I should see, I did 3, right? Is that how many I did? I did, okay, it's an entry. I did 3. So I should see, when I refresh, I should see max power with the avatar, user 2 and user 1. Finger cross. All right, where's the camera? Finger cross. All right, let's go. Okay, I don't see the username, but the avatar, that's a good start. We are making progress. So avatar wrap. I think what I need to do is I need to take the original macro, put it at the bottom, and then just be able to pick pieces from it. So this is like a scratch file here. I'm not actually going to copy and paste this into the template. I'm just going to, like I said, I'm just going to pick pieces from it. So the username is printed down here. You've got a header, message attribution plain, show original. So maybe, so. Do I need that? Let me close everything. What is this link to? Link side view. I'm not sure what that is. I should say I am not sure yet what that is. You will always find a way. You will always, you've got to be persistent. All right. I've got about another 20 minutes left, and then I have to actually do some real work. All right, let's see how this looks. Okay, we're getting there. We're getting there. I do like the smaller avatar, and it's printing the username. It's printing how long ago it was. And for giggles, let's go ahead, for giggles, let's go ahead and put the message itself in there. Which, let's see. That's that entry, if entry is not deleted. Okay, here it is, the code. All right, got it. All right, so I'm going to pin this. We have, let me put it into this. This is a thread view, main content. This is going to be under main content. So main content here. I think I understand. I was trying to figure out why it's printing the avatar twice. I think I get it. Maybe not. Let me do this. All right, let's try that. Looks promising. All right, let's go back and refresh this. Okay, all right. This is ugly, but it does what we want it to do, right? It's showing the username, it's showing how long ago the message was written, and it's showing the message itself, and along with a small avatar. So it's it's definitely there. The pieces we want are in place. And if I go back and if I change this, so what I'll do. I'm going to go back and I'm going to change. I'm just going to delete some junk. That's a lot of white space. We'll just keep it like that. Let's see. Okay. And then wanted to see about maybe trying to be able to clean that up a little bit before I end for the day. I don't know what this is. Oh, it's the entry date. Why is it a link? Oh. I honestly didn't even know that I implemented that in the feed. That you could view a single feed, like a single feed. And you can look at that. I honestly did not know I had implemented that. Well, look at me. Look at me go. All right. Let's go back to the home page. So what I want to do is I want to get the username probably right next. I want to get that top part looking a little bit like this. I want to get the avatar and the username, and then the date right below it, and then below that with a space, the message itself. All right. So I can see that these are in a list box. Username. Okay, the avatar is there, and then an H4. Okay, what if I move this here? It's still going to put the line underneath, and that's the header. Okay, we will try this, and then I think we're going to call it a day after that, because I have to switch modes. I think we're going to. So let's try this really quick, and then we'll go ahead and check the code in and talk a little bit and wrap up for the day. How's that sound? Where did I go? I was just, okay, feed preview template. That's not what I want. Where did my template go? Okay, it is feed preview template. That's not a good name, Addy. put it here. Save. See if this looks any better. Okay, I mean, we got the name next to the avatar. That's something. This looks like they're doing a little box. Let's see how this is accomplished. Let's look at that. Okay, well, it's not going to be accomplished when it's small. Okay. All right. There. There. Okay, so this is just node extra. Node extra, node icon, node extra row, node extra row. That's actually pretty simple. Do I want to try it really quick? Yes, I do. I do. I want to copy this whole element. Copy element. And then okay, so we're gonna have a div class node extra. Div class node extra icon. href will be up. Oh, what is auto-generated? What is not? That is the question. And that is a good question too. So see how it says XF avatar and then it passes in some information and then username. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, that is going to, ultimately it's going to generate HTML. So this HTML that I'm looking at down here, where did it come from kind of? I'm not sure. So one thing I could do is I can compare it with this. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to find the elements here. Can I just select and then inspect? Okay. So if I look at the HTML for what I have, okay, avatar access. Okay, I think I know what I think I know what I'm doing. This is going to be, I need to surround node extra icon. Ugh. All right, I don't want to lose this. So we'll start anew at the top and then we'll collapse this for now. I need node extra and node extra icon. Message content, message inner, message cell, message main, message content. I don't know where to begin with that. Div node extra, and then we'll put the avatar in here. Right, close this. Okay. Then we have this node extra row, div node extra row. And then that is the username, I think. No. So date and time. Oh, the username's here, and that's the title. Okay, so we could put the username there, and we could put the date down there. Okay. All right, I got this. I'm pretty sure that I've got this. Okay, node extra row, and then the date and time would go in another node extra row. Is that a node extra row, node extra, and another one? So then we put the date and time in this one. And the date and time is this link here. Right. God, I'm a genius. Okay, put that there, and then the message body will leave. The message body is going to be, it's going to be ugly right now, but we'll leave it as it is. Just make sure everything's lined up. Everything is lined up. let's try putting the template. Okay, let's put that in the template. Remember, we're just modifying the macro. Oh, the macro is red, and I don't know why. That means there's a mistake somewhere. All right, so div, that div is closed. This div is, oh geez. Okay, div. This div, found it. We need a div right here. So this XF could actually be indented, and then this div is going to line up with that. Okay, got it. All right, let's try again. Okay, nothing's red. It looks good. Let's save it. Let's see how it looks. Is the trash coming already? Well, I guess it is 7 o'clock. All right. Let's see how that looks. Come on. Okay. That's not bad. That actually looks pretty okay. I kind of want to maybe get rid of some of the white space, maybe move the messages down just a tad, or maybe move them over. I'm not sure. You're going to have to play around with it, but that is definitely a good start. So what I need to do now is I need to load up source tree, which is going to take forever. And I want to check the code in, obviously, is what I want to do. And I want to make sure it's not lost. But where'd it go? But yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. And let's see, if I click on the time, it's going to take me directly to a feed. I feel like I would almost rather have it take me to the feed page and then maybe anchored at the feed. I'm not sure. That's something else we can decide and play around with. But no, this looks pretty good. Has source tree is still it's literally still loading up. No, I'm pretty happy with that. That was a very productive hour. If that is the most productive hour I have all day, then I can maybe live with that, but it won't be. I got more work to do. And like I said, I wish I could do my actual day job on stream, but there would be some legal issues with that. Can you imagine like a Microsoft programmer just like streaming programming Microsoft code that's private code? Yeah, that wouldn't go over well. Okay, let's look at what we got. We got this. Okay, so the template looks like it's just saved it, which is cool. So I don't have to export anything. The entry file, got rid of the visitor, added a new function. The feed preview, I got rid of some dirt. And cleaned that up a little bit. The metadata, just the hash files. I think this is good. So we can go ahead and I just want to, I'm going to do something really quick off screen that I don't want people to see, and you'll never be able to guess what it was. Okay, so we'll come back. Wait a minute. All right, we'll come back over here. So let's go ahead and cleaning up the widget view. Not view, view. It's great work, guys. Really, I'm proud of all of you. I'm really proud of all of you. This looks good. This is almost good enough to put on to put on my board. But there's a few small changes that we have to make. Maybe I'll do those on stream tomorrow. If I stream, I kind of like this streaming at 6 a.m. kind of thing. Maybe maybe I'll try to do it again. But otherwise, be sure to check out my YouTube channel, which you're already on. So click and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram at Addy Goes Places. I don't have a Twitter since it got banned a couple of years ago. And of course, you can check out my GitHub page for other projects that I'm working on at GitHub. Xenforo. I need to get one of those like link tree pages where it shows all the different links, because especially now, since I have completely discombobulated social media, I have one username here, another username here, another username here. So thank you everybody for watching, and I will see you again next time. Take care.